Hi there, it's Dr. Field's Feline Fridays, one of our first installations here. So, we're going to start a little bit easy. Something I feel like we don't talk about enough, and it's a big part of being a cat owner, is the litter box. So, a few things to consider is number of litter boxes, what kind of litter, what kind of litter box, even. And all actually can have a really big impact on your kitty's stress level and their happiness and possibly even their urinary habits. So, to start off, you should have one litter box per cat plus one. So if you have two cats, have three litter boxes. If you have four cats, have five, etc. Now, one thing I do like to mention with the start or rise in the robot litter boxes is some cats don't view that as a litter box because they're scared of it. So maybe consider adding even one more normal litter box when you have a robot litter box. The other part is just overall litter box type. So we have pretty generic ones here. The considerations are always going to be the actual size of it and the size of your cat. If you have a bigger, chunkier kitty, this may be too small and they don't feel comfortable actually standing in there and urinating. The other part is going to be headspace. So there's a lot of covered litter boxes that they can't actually sit and posture the way that they'd like. So they don't feel comfortable in there either, or they're having to put different strains on their joints. Finally, the actual height of the side of the litter box is important. So as our kitties get older, a lot of them will get degenerative joint disease or have really achy joints and arthritis. And the actual act of stepping into the litter box can become painful and they don't want to do it. A lot of times I have owners say, hey, they started peeing just right next to the litter box versus inside of it. So things you can do is look for a litter box that actually has a spot through the front that is lower. You can modify if you have somebody handy in your home that can cut that out and smooth it out so it's not going to cut them. And then the other part is actually the big litter box, or not litter boxes, but containers for like wrapping paper or under bed storage. You can do the same thing, get one of those, cut it out, and it's a nice, just they walk in and are able to use the bathroom. Doesn't fix all things, and of course, if you notice abnormal urination or crying out or anything like that, absolutely bring them in to make sure there's nothing medically going on. But these are a few things to consider on that front. Finally, even though I already said finally, is going to be litter type. That is a little bit more ambiguous. So big things is just to avoid anything that's super dusty and trying to use the same litter once they do well with it. Anything highly scented too can actually cause them to have irritation in their upper airways. So I usually say something that's just not scented and is low dust. There are some new litters like Pretty Litter, which have indicators in them. We've had people come in where the indicators have been falsely going off and there's nothing wrong with the kitty, and some cats that just really haven't liked it. So just a few things to think about if you reach for those litters. And of course, if you have any questions about that, you can let us know.